Hello, friends, and thank you for joining us once again in this digital realm. My name is Jeremy Duncan Pape. I am the interim artistic director here at Live Arts. My pronouns are he, him. And before we go any further, we need to take a moment to acknowledge that we stand on the stolen land of the Monacan people. Well, season reveal time. Thank you for joining us. We're actually really excited about what we've put together. It is vast and varied, and some in bite-sized chunks too, to just make it a little bit easier to absorb in this screen space. So one of our primary focuses is obviously going to be on flexibility and adaptability, because there's so much that we don't know about the state of the world for the next year or so. So we have a lot of ideas and we have a lot of things. We're going to start off with some of those tonight. One of our main focuses this year is going to be on locally driven work and locally sourced work. There's a lot of reasons for that, most of which you might know deep in your heart already, and we'll talk about a little bit more as we go on tonight. But before we go too much further, I want to bring on the wonderful Ann Hunter, our executive director at Live Arts, to talk about some of the season's construction. Hey, Ann.
Hey, Jeremy. Thanks so much. And thank you all for tuning in tonight. Nice to see you, more or less. My name is Ann Hunter. I'm the relatively new 6 months Live Arts director, executive director. I use she, her, hers. When COVID hit, it seems like a lifetime ago, Live Arts had a choice to either hunker down or to forge ahead. We chose the latter. That choice led to the creation of a reimagined forging ahead season that Jeremy alluded to, and a few twists in how we sell tickets. The first twist, replacing subscriptions. Perish the thought. Instead of asking you to renew your subscriptions in a virtual environment, we're inviting you to purchase a season pass at roughly the same investment that you made last year. The season pass revenues enable us to present an entire season of content for you and make that content available to the community on a pay-what-you-can basis. The goal here is pretty simple: to lower the economic barrier to theater during a time of social, emotional, and financial hardship for our neighbors. If this approach sounds familiar to you, it is. We modeled it after public radio and public television. Here's the second twist. We have two types of season pass. The basic pass is priced at $150, and it includes 9 months of weekly programming, September to June. That's 5 times more events than a typical season, and a lot more variety. All of it available to the community without a paywall. The bonus pass is priced at $250. In addition to the 9 months of weekly programming, it includes digital tickets to 4 full-length shows, which Jeremy will talk about in a bit. And then, just for jollies, the bonus pass also includes a comp ticket to, hold your breath, a very special, socially distanced Live Arts holiday special. We got to get a shorter name for that thing. Season passes are a good deal for you and a good thing for the community. They're also good for us. We hope to sell 800 of them in the next month, and that will help us to balance our budget. Here's the third twist: new perks. At a time when our building is closed to the public and we're all socially distancing, it would be silly to offer you the usual perk of free parking and a free drink. So instead, we're giving something that's practical that you can use: a custom Live Arts face mask, and perks from our community partners and restaurants. So once again, these perks help you and area businesses, which are still recovering from the backlash of the closures. We're just trying to do our bit to help Charlottesville rebound. That's all the twists and turns I have for now, but let me turn the spotlight back over to Jeremy. It's all yours.
Thank you, Ann, and thank you for all the work you've done in conception around this season. It has been quite a journey, everyone.
It's an adventure. Yeah, that's what you do during a pandemic.
Yeah. So as we sort of mentioned briefly, we'll be focused locally. One of the reasons for that is partially it's a time commitment on the part of our volunteers in our community. It is many months worth of commitment for a main stage show, whether it be Founders or whether it be Gibson. And even in this time when people aren't working, it's a hard commitment to make. So one of the reasons that we're doing this is because it lowers barriers even to get involved, not just for barriers to witness it or take part as an audience member, but just to be involved as a participant. So one of our key structures will be that on the first the 4 Fridays of every month, we'll be offering a different bit of scheduled programming. And so we have a bunch of staff members with us tonight to sort of talk us through what all those will be. And to start us off is the incomparable Daryl Smith to talk about what we'll be doing on the first Friday of every month.
How are we doing, my friends? Hi, I'm Daryl Smith. I'm the box office manager at Live Arts. And so this season, Live Arts is embracing First Fridays in our lovely community here. So every first Friday of the month, I will go out into the community of artists and performers in this great community of Charlottesville and do a little snippet, an interview about their art and their inspiration about their art. We do have a little preview tonight. My dear good friend, Jocelyn Nicole Johnston, she's a writer, she's an artist, she's a teacher in the Charlottesville Public School, and her works have appeared in the short story Control Negro that was featured in the Best American Short Stories of 2018. So there's a short interview of that. Let's watch that and I'll come back and let you know about when you can see that performance. So I like to begin. This is my first Friday series. And my first guest is the lovely, talented, beautiful, my hero and my love, Jocelyn Nicole Johnston. So you're getting ready to do a little short reading. Can you tell me a little bit about it before we begin and your inspiration for it and after you're done with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to read a super, super short reading. I actually wrote this last summer before the pandemic and before quarantine. And I'm like a compulsive list maker. Here's one of my lists. Like I make lists all the time. This is like my monthly list, and then I make daily lists, and there's categories. So this is a story in form of a list. So each thing's like a little checkbox. And I was thinking about, even last summer, about how to plan for a future that feels particularly fragile, or even like kind of tilting towards catastrophe. Like how do you kind of deal with that? So this is called Buying a House Ahead of the Apocalypse.
Yes.
So I'm going to be reading here, guys. So
sit back and relax.
Bear with me. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Buying a house ahead of the apocalypse. Scour online listings daily. Find a house ahead of your 40th, ahead of your imminent doom. Never mind that a house is an investment, a belief that things on the whole will get better. Find a house on a hill set back from the road, a sturdy brick rancher or a quaint bungalow that needs work. Search outside of Richmond, not too far from the city since your daughter's still finishing art school here. Keep up your commute, rising well before dawn to burn up the road to Williamsburg. Never mind the long drive, the lights you left on, the broke toilet your landlord won't fix, which is always, always running. Catch the older lady at your credit union, the one with the smoldering accent who makes the loans, the one who reminds you of your own mother, if Ma had been brown and Latina instead of black with an uhuru do hailing from Carolina. Wear your hair bone straight, a fresh weave with the itch of cornrows beneath, like something true but hidden. Tell that older bank lady you're earning way more now than ever, though a third as much as anyone else in your office, you know because you manage their books. Confide there's a blazing cake birthday on your horizon. Ask her, for real, what can she do for you? Check your credit score with the app on your phone when you bolt awake in the middle of the night. Scroll to see how swiftly the Amazon burns. Scroll to see how many masses of species have been lost or consumed within the last 24 hours. Scroll to see which items you've saved in your cart, primed and ready to ship at your beck and call. Flip the phone to the bed sheets to dampen its glare and stare up at the blackened ceiling. Lift your phone again, refresh to see what might have changed. Watch Terminator 2 for the umpteenth time at the gym on the treadmill with your cell phone in your palm. Marvel at the heroine Sarah Connor, a hellbent single mother voice-overing the end of mankind. Jog faster still as you see how buff Connor's become, working out in tie pants and a tissue white tank in the sanitarium where she's been committed. The men with the key smirk like that bee is crazy, but Connor's just facing the truth of what's barreling home. Imagine yourself like a black Sarah Connor, eyes open at least, core strong and ready. Turn up the slope, the bleeding speed, and run.
Oh, I have a little present for you.
You have a present for me? Oh, I love it. That's beautiful, Daryl. Thank you.
And, quickly, so what can we look forward to in the future?
So I'm so excited. I'm going to have my first debut book of fiction come out next fall, and it's called My Monticello, and it's 5 stories, including this one, and a novella that takes place at Thomas Jefferson's Monticello in the near future, and it's definitely, I'm excited to share it.
I'm so excited and looking forward to it. And I'd like to thank you, Jocelyn. Nicole Johnson, you're my hero. I love you. Thank you. And good night. Bye-bye.
I love you, Daryl. Goodbye.
Excellent. And you can catch that full interview with Nicole Johnson on Friday, September the 4th. We will have that full interview for you. So let's next visit the amazing Chris Kelly. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hi, Daryl. How are you?
Can you tell us a little bit about the radio plays that we're going to?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Kelly, and I am the Special Projects Manager here at Live Arts. I use he, him pronouns. Thank you again for joining us tonight. On the second Friday, Daryl has First Fridays locked up. On the second Friday of every month, we will be embracing a bit of retro flair in programming with a run of radio plays. These segments will be generated by local writers, voiced by local actors, and perhaps most excitingly, brought fully to life with Foley-style sound effects by local talent. So, what does Foley mean, you ask? Well, the other day, I was lucky enough to get our own Joseph Schaefer, a great friend of Live Arts, on the phone to ask him that very question. And here's what he had to say.
Hey Chris, what's going on?
Hey Joseph, I'm well. How are you?
Can't complain really, aside from the usual. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Well, as you probably heard, Live Arts is doing their season reveal this Saturday, and one of the things we're looking at is a series of radio plays. So I wanted to talk to you about Foley sound effects. I was wondering what you could tell me about it.
Okay, yeah. Well, broadly, Foley is the art of creating sound effects to supplement or even replace real-world events or recordings. It could really be anything: an actor clapping their hands to simulate a slap, knocking on a set piece to simulate a door knock, even a voice from off stage for an announcement. That's all Foley. It's a way to supplement, create, or replace sounds to replicate what the audience thinks they should hear.
Cool.
The origin of the term Foley actually comes from a guy named Jack Foley, who worked at Universal Studios in Hollywood in the early 1900s. He didn't invent this. This has been done since the beginning of time, since the first person decided to put on the play. Someone was backstage slapping something. This guy Jack Foley, he was on the sound crew for the movie musical Showboat. and worked to create and record all the sound effects used to turn the original silent movie into a talkie. You know, as they said back in the days. Showboat was originally a musical, so they wanted to adapt it to the screen, but, you know, originally did it silent, so they actually had to go in and redo all of the sound effects, all of the dialogue, all of the songs in post. Anyways, so Showboat premiered in 1929, but radio dramas had been going on since the 1880s, and many of those used sound effects, music, all predating the term Foley. But it wasn't until the 1920s that the radio drama really took off in the US, and Foley sounds became a huge part of that and remain a staple of entertainment media to this day.
Cool. So what goes into making these sounds? Like, how would I go about doing this?
Yeah, it's actually really straightforward in principle. All you need is a mic and something to make sounds. The real trick, the real artistry, comes from creating convincing sound effects that folks will know and recognize from their own lives. Doors are relatively easy and in ready supply. Footsteps can be done by walking in various materials, or even, as is actually commonly done for snow scenes, squeezing a box of cornstarch into a microphone. You remember Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right? The coconut stuff?
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah, that's actually a thing they do. You know, it's a gag there, but it's done more seriously to actually create those real horse hoofbeats. There's also, you know, the classic magic sound effects from, you know, your old Disney movies that are just chimes or harp glissando. Foley artists will gather and seek out all kinds of random and unassuming objects to use for sounds, and that's where the creativity and imagination comes in. Excuse me. Hey, now. Okay, where was I?
You were talking about creativity.
Yeah. There are a seemingly infinite number of ways one could produce any given sound, and it's up to the Foley artist to pick items and sounds that fit the feel and expectations of the script. A classic live radio production will have up to a dozen Foley artists in the studio with the actors to create all the sound effects used as part of the performance. Many theater shows will do this as well, albeit on a much smaller scale.
Okay, cool. And so you think it's a good idea to go forward with this at Live Arts?
Oh, absolutely. Foley is super accessible and easy to do because it's all regular, everyday objects and just a whole mess of creativity and imagination. It's a great way to get folks involved in the world of sound design without the pressure and difficulty of putting on a show in a Gibson, for instance.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Anytime, Chris. Always a pleasure. Take care now.
And there you have it. If you want to see what went into the backstage magic of that clip, you can go to our Facebook page to see the whole explanation of how that was done. So be sure to join us on the second Friday of every month. And if you have any interest in voicing, writing, making noise, be sure to let us know. There's no previous experience or special equipment necessary, not at all. And so next, Linda Zuby is going to come up and tell us about the next Friday's event.
Thanks, Chris. Hello, everybody. Linda Zuby here, she, her, live from the costume shop here at Live Arts. So we're turning 30. Makes us adults, but we can still be youthful and look back to our younger years in order to move forward. In other words, going retro to the future. So what we're bringing back on the third Fridays of every month, starting on September 18th, staff hosted Coffee House. Yep, we're going there. We're going back to the coffee house where we can socially distant get together, socialize, and share local performances. We're thinking about 40 minutes of conversation and socializing and 20 minutes of a local performance or two. We want to showcase our local creativity, of which we have a wealth of great people in this town. So it could be poetry slam, it's spoken word, it's music, it's whatever we want it to be. So speaking of local music, we are lucky to have Laura Kelly here tonight, local singer-songwriter. Hello, Miss Laura.
Hello, how are you?
Great. Thanks for joining us. What are you going to share with us tonight?
Thanks for having me. I'm going to share a song with you. It's called Steel Magnolia, and it's off my most current EP. You can hear the full EP if you want to on Apple Music or Spotify or any place where you can find music to stream. So I'm going to play that song for you. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here. All right. I was raised neath the white taxi sky in a town I'd rather have left behind, between old rice fields and a westbound train where no one even knew how to say my name. When I was just 16, he tried to pick me up in the back of his daddy's old beat-up truck, but I squeezed my knees, said no with my eyes. I guess a no is a no, unless you say it just right. And I went running so fast, I got lost in the night headlights coming quickly. He was close behind, trailing me down, screaming my name. You may catch me, boy, but I won't owe you a thing. I'm a steel magnolia. Guess I should have told ya. Ain't no one gonna cut me down. I got my roots in holy ground, and ooh, ooh. Well, I got out of that town with 3 strikes to my name, and every girl that I knew, her story is the same. From the color of our skin to the shape of our eyes, we're all carved with marks and scars and lies. Now that I'm grown with a girl of my own, dancing to the beat of her own little drum, when they come for you, stand up straight, look them in the eye, and here's what you say. I'm a steel magnolia. Guess I should have told ya. Ain't no one gonna cut me down. I got my roots in holy ground, and I don't have to take it. Sure ain't gonna fake it. And don't you come for me, you never change your ways. And no one puts a steel magnolia in her place. Ooh. Every label you gave me, that was meant to tame me, so you could keep on light on my flame. I write my own glorious name. Oh, I'm a steel magnolia. Guess I should have told ya. Ain't no one gonna cut me down. I got my roots in holy ground, and I don't have to take it. Sure ain't gonna fake it. And don't you come for me, you never change your ways. And no one puts a steel magnolia in her place. Ooh, hey, I'm a steel magnolia. Guess I should have told ya. You know I'm gonna cut me down. I got my roots in holy ground, and I don't have to take it. Sure ain't gonna fake it. And don't you come for me, you never change your ways. And no one puts a steel magnolia in her place. Thank you.
Laura, oh, thank you so much for sharing and joining us tonight. That was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Linda. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Bye. So, coffee houses are back in a new form, but they're back. So if you want to share your talents or find out more about how to be a participant in the coffee house, please email Liz or Jeremy for details and to sign up. And there you go. Third Fridays, coffee houses, we're forging ahead, doing our best. So thanks for joining us tonight. Oops, dropped my clipboard. And now I'd like to introduce down in the Founders Theater, Miss Annie Temick. Hello, Miss Annie.
Hi, Zuby. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here tonight, and thank you all for your curiosity and for joining us tonight. My name is Annie Temick. I am the Interim Technical Director at Live Arts. I use she and her pronouns, and I am delighted to share with you our 4th Friday offering, which is called Boundary Fridays. So Boundary Fridays is a 4th Friday workshop that will be led by a rotating creative guide who will show us how to make fun theater stuff. What kind of fun theater stuff? Well, the great thing about theater is you never know when you might need a multi-eyed monster, fake flowers, a fake turkey, all the way up to costumes, woodworking, and metal products. So there will be a wide variety of projects to learn from. And if you're thinking, well, I don't really make stuff, or it's been hard to connect to my creativity lately, or maybe you're the kind of person that makes things all the time, rest assured this will be a really nice offering for everyone. It'll be a chance to meet somebody new, to learn something new, and just to invite some creative play and something a little different into your routine. So instead of continuing to talk about this, I thought it would be a lot more fun to share a 3-minute mini Boundary Friday with you. So I've prepared something special just for you, and to help me out, I'd love to bring on a few friends to help out. Our project tonight is called Faux Fish. Yeah, hey everyone. Good to see you. And this project was inspired by Daryl O'Connor. She made some amazing prop fish for men on boats, so that's what we'll be making tonight. And she graciously shared this project with us. Thank you, Daryl, and thanks everyone. So let's, we got 3 minutes. Let's dive into this cool project. First, we're gonna need materials. You all have your stuff? Gonna need some stuffing. That could be batting, could be old socks, could be those cooler bags. Lots of different options. You're gonna need a sock or some tights, needle and thread, paint, scissors, whatever you got. Awesome, looks like we got all of our stuff. So we're gonna get started here. First things first, you're gonna take your stuffing and you're gonna wanna draw a fish shape. What does a fish look like? Well, whatever you want it to look like, but probably you could find something online if you're not sure. Great, fish shape. So then you're gonna cut out your shape, and like magic, we have a magical foam fish. So it's almost like somebody did it for us. Next step, we're gonna put our fish shape into a sock. You know, this is what you've always been dreaming of doing. How's everybody doing? All right, great. So we have our fish in a sock. Congratulations. Next step, we gotta define the fins. So I've got this very large needle and thread. Your needle does not need to be that large, but we're just gonna start stitching our fins, and anything that looks, you know, like it could have some more definition, just sew it on up there. If you have a heel in your sock, you'll probably want to sew that up too. All right, so now we have our, we got our tail going. You might want to pinch in here. Lots of options. All right, great. So now comes in the fun part. We've got the painting element. So what kind of fish do you all want to bring to life here? I think I'm gonna go with a rainbow trout, but you can go with whatever fish you want. So I usually start with the dark colors just because I like to see some contrast happening quickly. Sometimes I will get 2 colors on my brush here, start to get some blending happening. Don't recommend licking the paintbrushes there, but I can't stop you because we're virtual. Great, so you can also play with getting some water on your brush, maybe doing some stripes if you're doing some kind of fish that has stripes. It doesn't have to be realistic. You could do something psychedelic. You could do some dots with the back of your paintbrush. Go crazy with that. Also, there's something very nice about painting socks. I don't know if you've tried it before. It's very lovely. All right, so imagine continuing this on for a little while, and then what do we have at the end? We've got a magnificent fish. How did everybody do? All right, we got some variety here. Everybody's got a different fish. Look at the magic of us all doing this together. Congratulations. Some of us have more edible fish than others. That's impressive. I'm not sure how you did that with socks and stuffing, but I am impressed. So maybe you can share it with us next time. All right, that's all of the time that we've got. Thanks for all your help, everyone. Just to recap, you know, we're going to be making some fun stuff every Friday. And if you're wondering, well, I'm delighted by this creature that I've just made, but I don't know what to do with it. You've asked a great question. And I would say, have you had trouble finding your keys lately? Because you'll never find them again with this amazing keychain. Make some lovely wall art. You could put it in the mailbox with a note to your friend. I'm sure they'd love that. Good lapel pin. I'm sure that you will think of 1,000 wonderful ways to use this fish. And if you don't, that's okay. It's supposed to be fun, and you can't live on practicality alone. So we hope that this will be a really delightful and fun offering. In fact, I know it will be, because it's what we do here and what we love. And I'm so excited just to get to paint things in our living rooms together, and I look forward to seeing you every fourth Friday for Foundry Fridays. So thank you so much. I'm going to give it back to Jeremy, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the rest of our season. And pass it along to Jeremy. Also want to give a quick shout out to Sam the Bear. Sam was an impressive participant in our last class, so we appreciate that quite a lot. I can't hear you for some reason, but that might be on my end, so I will.
Jeremy, we can't hear you.
Plug and replug.
Oh, yep, there we go. Great. Cool. I think so. Say something.
Nope.
This is cool. We can just act it out. You mime and we'll mime.
We'll mime. That's interesting. Okay, how about now?
Yep, got it.
All right, cool. Well, so, technical issues, it happens. It's live theater, everyone. Annie, thank you so much for all of your work and for helming this project. I'm really excited to see who you bring.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Annie. So friends, so that's sort of the skeleton on which we're building this season. So the 4 Fridays of every month, we might get the occasional 5th Friday. We'll take a rest. All of this season, our season benefactors, I do want to make sure we mention, are the absolutely wonderful Elizabeth and Joe Lavaca. They have been stalwart supporters of Live Arts for a number of years, and they are our season benefactors for this season, and we are so very grateful that they are excited in what we're doing as well. Those Fridays are sort of the skeleton upon which we'll be building a lot of this season. If you remember in the when we were speaking earlier about our season pass structure, also underneath that basic pass are some featured playwrights and featured work. So among that will be this September, the 24th and 25th of September, as well as the 1st and 2nd of October. We will be running this year's reimagined, fully digital, locally sourced. We have 8 local playwrights, 8 local directors, and a raft of talent among the actors. And they will be coming at you 2 consecutive weekends, 2 plays a night, and we're really excited for that. They have sort of an open docket for what they're able to come up with, and I'm personally really excited to see what they do come up with. As well as that, we will be featuring in October a very special production, Lost Home, Win Home, by the incomparable Shelby Marie Edwards. And that will be going up in mid-October, directed by T. Ames, who will be joining us in just a moment to talk a little bit more about that. And then to close out the calendar year, we'll be revisiting a very special, socially distanced Live Arts Holiday Special. And that's just another opportunity for us all to come together and share a bit of joy around a virtual fire. Maybe some cookies, maybe some body, whatever, who knows, it'll be awesome. But now I'd love to invite T to join us to tell us a little bit about Lost Home, Win Home.
Hi, Jeremy, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well, my friend. How are you?
Doing good. I'm excited to be here with y'all, even if it's virtual.
Always excited to have you. So tell us, please, what is Lost Home Win Home about?
All right, so Lost Home Win Home was written by Shelby Marie Edwards. I have so much love and respect for Shelby. We actually grew up together, so we've known each other since we were 10 years old. So it's really a pleasure and an honor to be able to work with her with this piece. She originally wrote it in 2018, and it premiered September of 2018 at the Acorn Theater in New York. She then went to Chicago and she performed it at the Filet of Solo in Chicago in this past January. And so she's really been putting in a lot of work. And because it is a one-woman show, it's based a lot around her life growing up in Charlottesville. And then she tackles the really hard subject of August 12th, 2017. And so she goes into detail about her personal experience, her family's experience, and a lot of the people around her, whether it's family or friends or colleagues, and how they were feeling on that day during the Unite the Right and neo-Nazi rallies here in town. And so the story kind of follows and is structured around that, but there's so much more going on here. So you kind of see Shelby when I first knew her, when we were 10 years old at Walker Upper Elementary School, and then kind of traveling into when she moved to Chicago versus when she met her partner here in Charlottesville. And so we kind of see a lot of different parts of her life, all kind of wrapped around this idea of chess. The game of chess and how that kind of relates to her life. It's a beautifully and expertly written piece, and I'm so excited to be working with her on it.
Mm-hmm. And we are excited as well and honored that they all trust us with it.
Yes, most definitely.
So tell me, so we know it'll be digital, but can you tell me about a little bit about like sort of the production model?
Yes, we are so excited about this. So the show will be performed and live streamed from Live Arts. It would only be myself, Shelby, our stage manager, and our tech support in the room. And our plan is to have multiple cameras set up in the theater so that we're getting multiple angles at any given point during the show. We also are really excited about the prospect of having a fully Black production team for this. Because Shelby and I are very steeped in Africana aesthetics and cultures being Black, we thought it was really important that we really tell the story through ritual. So the show will be based largely in call and response between Shelby and myself, but also anyone else on the production teams that feel like, this show is a part of their lives. And so they want to share how they feel as well. And we're also really focusing on being as honest as we possibly can. And so you never know, this show may change here and there, and there may be some cool little tidbits we're adding just to kind of liven up a little bit and really showcase what Black theater is all about. And we're really excited that Live Arts is full support of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it would be, though it will be digital, it will still be performed live every night.
Yes. I'm so excited. We're performing it October 15th through the 18th. There'll be 4 shows. And we're excited because we've never really done something like this before. The idea of live streaming it from a theater, but still having it be a live show as if people are in the room. So we're excited because we feel even with multiple cameras, we can get some cool angles and tell the stories in ways we may not be able to if it's just a room full of people, like we always love when it comes to live theater. So it's new, but it's also a new opportunity to try something really cool and see how we can tell stories in new ways.
Mm-hmm. So some inside info. Tell me. That story about the thing when she was a kid at school, is that a real story?
It's a real story. What I love so much about this script is, as I was reading through it, when Shelby asked me to direct the piece, I was just getting flashbacks of us walking through the hallways of the school and just her in this little pink Bible that she used to carry around. And that pink Bible is iconic when it comes to Shelby and our relationship, because, growing up how we have and seeing kind of where we are now, the growth and the maturity that came from how we grew up is going to be really important to tell a story like this, especially when you're dealing with all that happened on August 12th. And I think not only is it important to really tell the truth about that day, but to also hold space for those who are involved directly and indirectly. So by telling the story that Shelby is telling and telling it from her perspective, it is as honest and as poignant as it can possibly be because it's true. And that's what excites me the most about this script, because we're not just, regurgitating something and hoping for a great response or hoping for some sort of catharsis. We're putting it out there, just how it naturally happened for her. And yes, we're hoping that people can relate to that, because there are a lot of Black folks who are affected by that. There are a lot of Jewish folks who are affected by that. And I think that in order to love each other through this and really take action and towards healing through all the things that we've been through, theater is a beautiful vehicle to be able to do all of that. So not only am I excited because I love theater and I haven't directed since I did Rent last summer, but the idea that we're telling this Black story with an all Black crew and showcasing it and giving it to the world and seeing what comes back is all from that Africana perspective. So we're sharing and hoping to build more community through this show. And I think that's definitely going to be possible. And I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
Thank you for that. And I'm excited to see. It's
gonna be dope. It's gonna be so dope. I can't even lie to you, Jeremy. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And so everyone at home, so you all know, a lot of our programming this season will be persistent, meaning that it will be online and available at your convenience. Lost Home, Win Home, however, will only be available on nights of performance. So do not miss out.
Get those tickets, friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. T, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're gonna bring Anne back in to tell us a little bit more about the season passes and exactly what that means.
Jeremy, thanks so much. T, can't wait to see this amazing show, and especially thank you to Shelby for all the creative energy of putting that together and the courage to tell that story. We're really looking forward to that show. So my job is to recap here. Everything you've seen so far tonight is included in the basic season pass. That's the one that's $150 or $17 a month if that's more convenient for you. The program is more frequent, basically once a week, to keep you from going stir crazy at home. It's shorter in duration because you can only spend so much time in front of a screen. It's more varied to give you choices, to keep you engaged, and to feed your soul in this time of isolation. And as Jeremy said, it's locally grown to remind you what a rich, amazing community we all live in. Jeremy, I'm going to give it back to you. Would you like to talk about the full-length productions and the special holiday event that are included in the $250 bonus season pass?
Absolutely. Thank you, Anne. So in addition to all of this programming, we will be offering up 4 pieces of full production theater. Now, we'll talk about what happens in calendar year 2021 in a second, but first, in November, we will be presenting a production of The Persecution and Assassination of Jean-Paul Marat as performed by the inmates of the Asylum of Charenton under the direction of the Marquis de Sade, also known as Marat Sade. Marat Sade won the Tony Award in 1965. The New York production was directed by Peter Brooks, and it's very much in that Brooksian mode, that Artaud mode of production, that idea of anywhere as a theater. It is written by Peter Weiss. It's an exciting play. It's a hard play in the most familiar of circumstances, and that's one of the things about it, is that it breaks from norm, and it is an open vessel in many ways. So it is very open and available to a fully digital presentation, which it will be. It will be fully digital, similarly presented live every night. However, it will only be digital, meaning you cannot come into the theater to see it. You have to catch it here. I will be directing. And the themes of the play, it effectively is an examination of of change and revolution, and a question around whether or not revolution and change can be best brought by examining and changing oneself, or by examining and changing systems and exterior forces. I'm really excited about this play. It speaks to a lot of personal things for me, and it's always been one of those plays for me. And I know it's been hovering on the fringes of season selection for a number of years around live arts. So we're gonna do it this year. Moving ahead into calendar year 2021. Now, everything that we're about to talk about in 2021 is predicated on the idea that we will be able to gather in person in the Gibson. That may not be possible, and we fully recognize that, and we are prepared to shift if we need to. However, we do have 3 plays on offer for 2021. We will be presenting them in a hybrid digital in-person. I'll talk about that in a second. First, we will be reapproaching our production of Sweat by Lynn Nottage, directed by the wonderful Adrian Oliver. As many of you may remember, Sweat was very deep in rehearsals. In fact, we were just a couple of weeks away from tech and opening when we had to shutter our doors in March. And Sweat is intense. It is a vast play. It deals with a number of complex issues that, though it was written in 2015 and presented first then, it is, if anything, it is even more poignant now. It deals with labor, identity issues, addiction, re-entrance post-prison, and not just those on their own, but also the intersection of all of those things. It's a kind of magical piece of theater, and we're really excited to be able to reapproach that. So that'll be going up at the end of February and through most of March. Seating will be very limited in the Gibson. So if you're interested in coming in person, get your tickets. After Sweat, we will be running 2 plays in rep. First up will be The Children by Lucy Kirkwood. Similarly, in March, The Children was pretty far into their production process before we had to shutter. And The Children deals with 3 people in late middle years in England, dealing with fallout of their life's decisions. And quite literally, there has been a nuclear meltdown, and they are discussing ways in which to effectively try and save the world. The Children will be running in rep with Annie, and that was directed by, will be directed by Betsy Tucker. The Aliens by Annie Baker will be directed by Amalia Oswald, running in rep. And The Aliens is really interesting in conversation with children, in that it is similarly 3 people, young people, right around the age of 20, dealing with a world in which they don't see a way forward. They cannot see a path. They cannot see a way through the mire in which they are currently trapped. Both of these plays work really well in conversation with each other, because not only is there a symmetry in the production structure, but in the themes, there's a lot of symmetry, particularly around the question of how does one thrive in a world in which one must struggle to survive. So we're really excited for all 4 of those. Now, for Sweat, The Children, and Aliens, as I mentioned, we do have a plan. We do have a hope to be able to present those in a hybrid model. So that means we will have very drastically limited seating in the Gibson, but we will also be presenting them digitally for those of you who are either at a higher risk or do not feel safe coming in. So that is our plan. Obviously, we have to be adaptable. We have to be flexible. That's the name of the game these days. So we have other plans, but this is where we're starting, and we're really excited for it. They're really solid, important pieces of theater, and we're lucky to have the teams on them that we do have. In addition to that, we have some other special events and some other things, and Shelby is going to be joining us to tell you about those.
Hi, everyone. What's up? My name is Shelby. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm the development coordinator here at Live Arts, live at the Becker Bar, which you can also find me. I'm doing a happy hour in a few weeks. More on that later. I am so thrilled to share that this year we have expanded our sponsorship packet. Like, our offerings are out of this world. We have seasonal sponsorships for fall, winter, and spring. We have sponsorships for each month. We have sponsors for each show. We have sponsors everywhere. And we do that because we recognize and hear that so many people are looking for different ways to support live arts. The prices are similar to years past. They are as low as $100 and they are available up to $12,000. I would also like to take this time to reiterate what Jeremy said. I am so thankful for our 2020-2021 season benefactors, Elizabeth and Joe Lavaca. They supported so much of the theater I saw when I was a kid. And so it comes as no surprise, and we continue to be appreciative of, that was the ice machine, it's still working. But we so appreciate how much Elizabeth and Joe support live arts, and they're helping us forge ahead this special season. I'm also happy to confirm that we plan on doing a few special events, fundraisers, starting with the Gallo retrospective that's going to occur sometime in October. So look out for that. It will be of the same flair and variety of the 30 and 30 that we saw in May. Secondly, we are going to have our very special Live Arts Holiday Special Socially Distanced Type Situation in December. And lastly, fingers crossed, I would like to have a spring gala, and we're gonna brand it and pronounce it with a heavy A. But yes, a spring gala would be really fun. Ideally, it'll be outside, and we're gonna plan for that sometime late next spring. So please join me in putting the fun in fundraising. You can always reach out to me via email at shelby@livearts. I will also be having a happy hour, and I think next Friday. Check on Facebook. Facebook's correct. And we can chat about it then too, but I'm so excited. I'd also like to end on a quote that I heard a lot growing up, which is something I now pose to you. What role will you play? Obviously, it'd be exciting to have you donate, but donating, if it's not your fancy quite yet, you also have the opportunity to buy tickets to shows like Lost Home, Win Home. What? Daryl, you know about tickets. Do you want to talk about that?
Hi, Shelby. Thanks a lot. Hey, I just want to let everyone know that I appreciate you, and I encourage you to get your season tickets today. After this announcement, season tickets will be on sale at livearts.org, or you can email me at daryl@livearts.org, or you can call me. Get a pen. My number is 434-977-4177. My extension is 123. There's two types of season passes. We have the basic season pass for $150, and also we have the bonus season pass, which is $250. Wherever fits your budget. We love that you go ahead and, if you had season tickets last year, you do it again this year. If you have questions about what's the bonus get me or what the basic get me, email me, call me. I can talk you through this. I'm very excited about the season. I'm be here. We're doing some amazing things, and I hope you guys will just stick with us, and you'll be very surprised. Right, Jeremy Ann? Are you guys there?
Yeah, Daryl.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yes. So after this, go to the Live Arts website, buy your season tickets today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, my friend. Well, that's what we have for you, friends. So Anne, what do you think?
I have one more little thought that I'd like to just leave you with, and that is that forging ahead during a pandemic is an act of faith. We're able to do so because we have the incredible support of the community. You gave it to us during 30/30. We saw it again during our Forging Ahead campaign, which wrapped up in June. Your generosity enabled us to eliminate the COVID-related losses from last season and put us on solid ground for this season. So we're very grateful. Speaking of ground and earth and things that grow on the earth, that was a terrible segue, by the way. We chose a sunflower to define this season. It was very intentional. Like this irrepressible flower, we are resisting the temptation to just bow our head and put our head down in strong fake headwinds. Instead, we're standing tall with you, following the sun and reinventing new ways to forge theater and community in Charlottesville. So thank you in advance for taking this journey with us. And I think on that note, maybe it's time to say goodnight.
Yeah. And friends, if you want to get involved, email us or call. We want to get involved with you too. So to contact Liz or myself at volunteer at Live Arts. For season passes, you hit up Daryl at box office at Live Arts. And to sponsor, you hit Shelby at livearts.org. And without further ado, friends.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello. Should we dance our way out of here, guys?
Yeah.
Let's do it.